dyno plays its role in that, because I can strap my car down before we get ready to go, make a couple pulls on it, put it in the trailer, and I'm ready to make first round of qualifying.
Time we save running cars on the dyno, let alone test driving them, it'd probably pay itself off in the first year. If it saves you one accident, there you go, you know.
Mustang Dynamometer is the world's leading supplier of automotive chassis dynamometers and vehicle emissions testing equipment. Their patented eddy current loading system has helped Mustang sell more dynamometers than any other dyno company in the world.
And that's the best thing about the dyno. You don't have to be on the street to really put the car through everything that it is capable of doing. You know, any variety of speed, any variety of load, any driving condition you can simulate on this dyno and know that that's exactly what the car would be seeing in a real-life environment.
Here are the men and women that make Mustang Dynamometer possible. It all starts in Twinsburg, Ohio. This 100,000 square foot complex is home to engineering, assembly, and testing operations that make Mustang the top dyno anywhere.
With over 20 years of experience, we have provided testing equipment from a simple small component test stand to testing military tanks and locomotive diesel engines. Mustang's main focus has been able to adapt to the marketplace and respond to the marketplace and its customers.
Today, the corporate offices manufacture and sell more than 150 dynamometers a week. With a staff of 100 manufacturing employees, 30 office staff, and 15 engineers, Mustang is ready for a growing future.
Mustang Dynamometer is the largest chassis dyno manufacturer in the world. Since 1986, we've sold over 15,000 units worldwide. Mustang's growth capacity has been increasing 20 to 30% every year, and depending on what field that we are in, since we have many different product lines, the growth is exponential, and in some cases nearly 100%.
Whether you're a member of a high-performance racing team, a Fortune 500 company, or an educational institute, Mustang probably serves a customer in your field.
Mustang prides itself on establishing relationships with suppliers that are also ISO 9001-2000 certified, as well as reputable. Mustang uses nothing but reputable suppliers in all of our power transmission related components, as well as electronic.
Mustang's corporate offices contain a new state-of-the-art facility exclusively for product development, demonstration, and testing. This and future expansions is sure to propel Mustang's already thriving high-performance industry. Owner of Busher Racing, Dave Busher, used the tuning advancements of his Mustang Dynamometer to help his street class Conquest reach speeds of 158 miles per hour and have times as fast as 8.61 in the quarter mile.
This dyno with the PAU unit enables us to load the car, and we can tune individual load cells for ignition timing and fuel curves. Our old dyno, the only thing you did is spin your wheels and get a big number out of it. It was useless.
Without a loading device on a dynamometer, particularly a chassis dynamometer, if you're just spinning up against inertia, you're not reproducing what the vehicle sees on the road. All you're actually doing is running the vehicle through a fast sweep of its engine.
Dave uses a 500 series all-wheel drive dynamometer on all of his cars, but Mustang offers several different families of dynamometers, ranging from 100 all the way up to 1750. All of these systems can help you tune your car and make it run more efficiently.
The vehicle simulation tuning that Mustang has a patent on, it's called virtual inertia. So virtual inertia gives us the ability to precisely load a vehicle as though it is out on the road.
The control software offered with Mustang Dynamometer is designed to make road testing easier and less time-consuming for automotive repair businesses. Mustang pioneered vehicle simulation load control in the mid-90s, and this approach to load control has now become the industry standard for both automotive diagnostic markets and rapidly emerging high-performance tuning markets.
For racing simulation, the dynamometer will apply the proper load based on the windage loads that the vehicle is seeing. We can do side load, scrubbing on tires going around corners on the tracks. So basically, we are reproducing the road onto the vehicle in your shop.
If it's an increase in performance you're looking for in your race car, Mustang Dynamometer can help. In the world of motorsports, the difference between first and last place is seconds. The chassis dyno has become more popular amongst the various classes of styles of racing. With more and more teams acquiring this tool, it won't be long before the chassis dynamometer becomes a necessary tool for teams to remain competitive. Dave Busher says he wants every advantage before he takes his car out onto the track.
Well, it makes it so much easier. Going to the track here, we're right next to Norwalk Raceway Park, but it's so busy, even on a test and tune night, you're there 6 or 7 hours and make 2 runs. You can't tune a car in 2 runs at the track in 7 hours. Now we load the cars on this dyno. It simulates the track perfectly. We can even do quarter-mile pulls here before we leave for the track. And we've picked up a half a second on our personal shop Evo in less than 2 weeks of tuning on this dyno.
Another team taking advantage of the Mustang Dynamometer technology is Hutter Racing in Chardon, Ohio. Hutter Racing has built engines for such drivers as Dale Earnhardt Jr., and Hutter's team owner, Trevor Hutter, knows the importance the Mustang Dyno is to the success of the engines and his drivers.
I get a lot of people that say, oh, you know, I want to stare at my computer and drive down the road and, you know, drive and shift and try and make changes and this and that. And I'm like, well, you have it on the dyno, you're in a controlled environment, you're strapped down. If anything happens, you know, you're not going anywhere. Anything happens with the car, there's no distractions. You can just focus exactly on what you want to do with the car.
Hutter uses the MD1750 chassis dynamometer. This top-of-the-line dyno is by far the most powerful and advanced high-performance dyno on the market. Trevor can simulate the customer's toughest opponents inside the Hutter Performance Racing Center.
The engine dyno is really just the beginning stages. You go through the process of getting the motor ready to go and tuning it for its max potential on an engine stand. But once you put it in a car, be it a street car or a race car of any description, there's many other factors that come into play. We've used the chassis dyno to help a lot with exhaust system on our race cars. We'll test all sorts of pipes that you cannot fit on an engine stand dyno, and then back them up on at the racetrack. And we found that the results you see on the chassis dyno are exactly what you see at the racetrack.
Their patented track simulation testing capability provides a practical and efficient means to gauge vehicle performance under real-world conditions. Driver Tim Matherly says having access to the dyno technology makes him more confident going into each race.
We were tuning on another brand of dyno, and it was not a loadable dyno. And what we ran into is we ran into an inadequate fuel system. Not knowing that, we put this car on the street and we ended up having to rebuild the engine at our expense. And shop can't stand that too many times. It was about the same time we picked our dyno, or we received our dyno and got it up and going. We strapped this same car down, and within 2 pulls we found the problem, fixed it, and the customer is still a customer of ours.
When it comes to competitive drag racing, conventional testing is conducted at the drag strip. Depending on your location, this approach to testing, tuning, and practicing can be time-consuming and expensive. If weather conditions change or become intolerable, you stand the chance of losing an entire day.
A lot of the new higher-end all-wheel drive cars, when you're on the road, the front and rear wheels are linked. When you go on other competitors' dynos, there's nothing linking the front and rear rollers, so the tires can actually spin different speeds. It puts all the abuse on the car. On this dyno, the front and rear rollers are linked. It's just like being on the road.
By having a connected all-wheel drive dynamometer, keeping the front wheels and the rear wheels synchronized, that allows the vehicle's transmission and control system to feel as though it's on the road. If you don't have a connected front and rear roll situation, the vehicle's wheels, if they start differentiating, the traction control system within the vehicle may and most likely will start activating the wheel brakes to try to keep it in synchronization, because what it feels, it's out on the road and it's skidding.
We know about the benefits the Mustang Dynamometer can bring to a high-performance team of racers. But what about the local technician down the block? Mustang Dynamometer was made with them in mind. Any one of the Mustang's 2-wheel drive or all-wheel drive dynos can save time, money, and increase the production of any shop or dealership. The Mustang Dyno's ability to road test on-site at independent repair shops like McCready's Automotive in Cuyahoga Falls, Ohio, gives shop employees peace of mind that they'll be safe and their customers will be satisfied with the results.
Me, myself, I can bring it in, get the scan tool, pop the lift up, drive the car up on. We can hook the scope to it right here. Then you don't have to drive it down the road. You just sit right there in the car, watch the scope as you're driving. It takes one person to do 3 or 4 things on it.
The dyno can demonstrate the vehicle's performance and indicate whether or not the new part is working properly with the diagnostic system.
You can feel smaller problems with the car on the dyno than you can out on the street. You're not hitting potholes the car is more kind of clamped to the ground.
Before the Mustang dyno technology, 2 technicians were needed for a road test. One technician would sit in the driver's seat while the other would monitor the speed and performance. That's why it's easy to see how Mustang dyno can save you money.
I think it adds professionalism to any shop to have one of these.
So whether you're driving toward the finish line or driving the finished product, the Mustang Dynamometer can save you time, money, and put you ahead of the competition.
For us, the advantage is tremendous. We've got our last warning from the State Highway Patrol, the Huron County Sheriff, and our local police department. We're not allowed on the roads anymore. We've worn out our welcome. So being able to do everything here and not get any harassment, it's invaluable.